Hello and welcome to another Applied Energistics 2 build. In this quite large compound, I am currently producing and using empowered oil from actually additions. I guess you already know how it works, so I won't spend as much time on explaining the mechanics as I will explaining this setup. But basically everything you see here is producing the canola seeds and the canola itself. We are converting it to refined canola oil. First normal canola oil and then refined. And we have a setup that will create the crystallized, what are they called? The crystallized canola seed, and then one to empower them into empowered, and the exact name is empowered canola seeds. And we also have finally the setups to make the crystallized oil and finally the empowered oil. And it's the empowered that we're using here to produce power for everything here as well. I think, yeah, this is just another farm. I had it in the beginning to speed things up while testing and building, but it's disconnected right now, so I don't think it's needed. So disregard from that part, but everything else here is Applied Energistics 2, extra cells 2, and actually additions, of course, and I think nothing else because I wanted to keep it as with as few mods as possible. Well, I have the thermal expansion power system and power transfer. All right, so let's begin right about here. These conversion monitors will show me exactly how much I have of all the different fluids in the system. I can also see them in the fluid terminal, and canola oil, refined, crystallized, and empowered. And those four are here as well. I can extract from here as well. I might do that, or well, we'll see. But I've set the system up to have 10 buckets of each fluid in the system at all times. If it has more than 10, it will shut down that part, that production, and only make more when we are below that. So when we use 1 bucket of empowered oil, we will use 1 bucket of the crystallized oil to make more, and then we need 1 bucket of this, and so it will self-refill all these, and everything starts exactly here. So here's the canola press. It will turn the canola into canola oil. So down here we have the main feed going up here to this export bus, exporting canola to the press, and we have fluid import here. You don't need to set a filter here, but I'd like to do that so as a reminder. Yep, and it will always extract or import the canola oil into the system, unless we do something like this. So we have a fluid level emitter. I set it just below 10 buckets, and it will output a redstone signal if we are below that, and if we are above that, it will not emit a redstone signal, and it's filtered on the canola oil. And here I have a toggle bus. So that means that if we have 10 buckets of canola oil, this will no longer output the redstone signal, turn this off, and the fluid import bus will be offline. So 10 buckets canola oil, no longer import or no longer produce them. Same thing here, the fermenting barrel is doing exactly the same. We have the fluid exports here, exporting canola oil into all these. I don't know if you need 3, but I've used that for this setup. And here we have the fluid import bus to import the refined canola oil. And this is just producing or converting it. No need for power or anything, just converting to refined canola oil. And this level emitter is set to refined canola oil, 10 buckets. Do not emit a redstone signal. This toggle bus will be turned off in that case, and this will shut them down. Alright, so now we are producing refined canola oil. That's pretty simple. We could export that into the oil generators already, but this setup is to make the best out of it. Let's see. So the next step is to make the crystallized oil. And the crystallized oil is by taking, I have this fluid formation plane here. It is set up, it doesn't show, it's set up to output refined canola oil. And yeah, it doesn't show for it, probably some minor bug, but it will always output this refined canola oil. And when we drop a crystallized seed in here, then it will turn into the crystallized oil. And where do we get the seed from? Well, we have it over here. In the beginning, I actually had this set up without the auto-crafting system. I had just an export bus and had another way to turn it down, but actually it was too fast, it produced too much. So I changed to use an auto-crafting system. So if we take a look, well, we can take a look here. Basically, if we, here, the crystallized canola seed. If we produce one, we send one canola seed to produce one crystallized. That will be out, that recipe is here. That means that the canola seed will be inserted into this precision dropper. It will be dropped straight down here. And at the same time, I have a level emitter on this backside with the crafting card set to the crystallized canola seed and emit redstone while item is crafting. This means that when we send the canola seed in here, this one canola seed, this will be turned on, because as long as we are not having that crystallized seed back in the system, this will be turned on. Emit redstone while item is crafting. And it will be turned on until we get the crystallized canola seed back into the system. And right now it's turned on, and this atomic reconstructor is set to deactivation. That means that if we have a redstone signal to it, it will be shut down. And now when we get a signal here when crafting, this one will be turned on and this will be turned off, and this one will send a few pulses every now and then. And then we'll get, because this ranged collector has a filter for crystallized canola seed. And that means that it will only pick up that seed and nothing else. And we'll import the crystallized canola seed back in the system. And then we have it here. So I can demonstrate that quickly. You can probably see it in the corner. Crystallized, you can see it over here. If we select one, start. There, picked up, everything done, and now we have it in the system. Perfect, but I don't want it there. So it was reconstructed into the crystallized seed, sent back to the system, and then we can use it for whatever we want. In this case, we want to use it for the production of crystallized oil, and that is controlled up here. Also a fluid level emitter, as we used before, same setup. Crystallized oil, 10 buckets, do not output a redstone signal. When we are below 10 buckets, or 9990. This will turn on like that. Great. You can see it popped down up over there. Now it will be imported and then throw back here. Yeah, things are going quite fast here. I think that one is going here now. Yeah, perfect. We got a demonstration for it. So what's going on here is that this export bus is configured with a crafting card and a redstone card. It's set to active with signal and to only craft items while exporting. So even if I had some crystallized canola seeds in the system, it would still craft them. And I did it like this because in the beginning it was too fast and it dropped like 5 or 10 seeds down here in the fluid, and that made the system lock, even though when the seed was here and we output the oil, it didn't convert into the crystallized oil, so everything just got stuck. But with this system it works better. So only craft items while exporting. Active with the signal. This is turned on. That means we want to craft the crystallized seed. We order that and then drop it down. So first, the fluid formation plane down here is outputting. It's always on, always active. And then we want to pick up with the annihilation plane, but we can't configure that one. It will pick up any fluid that it can see. So that's why these two blocks are a separate network. You can see we only get power here. And this fluid storage bus is configured for crystallized oil. That means that we can't pick up the refined oil. We can only output or pick up and output here the crystallized oil. And the crystallized oil is imported here back to the system, and then we'll get the 10 buckets that we want. Or we shouldn't have less than 10, so we might get 11. All right. I think that's pretty much this part. Okay, great. So then now we have the crystallized oil, and we could use that one as well here. But when we've done all this, it's pretty simple to do the last part as well. So to get the empowered oil, then we will output the crystallized oil here. Same thing here, it's always connected. And it won't show, but it's here. And this storage is set to empowered oil, picked up by this annihilation plane, separated with a fiber. Up here we have the same thing here. Again, 10 buckets of empowered oil, then turn off this level emitter. And this export bus is set to empowered canola seeds and the same settings as before. Only use crafted items and active with signal. So, and to get that final part, we have this one. It's the encoded, it's an encoded pattern that makes empowered canola seed from 4 normal ones and 1 crystallized. That means we're using the crystallized used to make this oil will be used to make the empowered seed that will be dropped over here. So this one is used for this seed made here is used in 2 places, both here and here. And this is the actual additions normal setup. You feed power to the outer ring and we put items everywhere. So these 5 items, canola seeds and crystallized canola seed, will be put into this interface, and it's a separate network. You can see I've separated them, and then they are just stored canola seed around, and in the center crystallized canola seed. And when it's done, it will be imported from below here, going back into the main network and be used over there. So if let's see, if we're doing something drastic like this, remove that, then we'll have an internal buffer of, alright, two buckets. So when I place these, we'll use 4 buckets of the crystallized, of the empowered oil. And then all of these needs to be refilled. So let's take a look on how that looks. You see 4 buckets immediately output. This one is lit, so we start to refill that. And once we refill that, we'll need to make more from this pool as well. I only have one crafting CPU here, so it can only do one thing at a time. That makes things a little bit slower, but at the same time, one seed or one bucket will burn for 400 ticks. Right, it will burn through quite quickly, but it should be fast enough to refill. The different oils they burn with different rates and at different speeds. So this is the highest rate of power that you'll get. And now we can see they are both producing. That one is working overtime over here. And this one is being refilled all the time as well. But we need that to make this, and well, now it's just running. Now it's pretty simple to maintain this. All you need was to set it up correctly in the beginning, and now we're almost back to where we were. So that was quite convenient. Pretty simple once you've done everything, but it took some time to get all this right, and I hope I've covered everything. I think so. If you have any questions, watch the video again or ask a question and I'll do my best to answer the question, of course. Yeah, alright. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.